Welcome back to the Remote Contractor course. What are systems? So today we're going to cover systems. We have so far covered focus, huge, throughput, as you can tell, definitely major for growth in your business. And now we're going to talk about systems. What are systems? Why do we need systems? And why should you care? And what tool I'm going to take your business to the next level. What are systems? What problems do they solve? And what tool I'm going to provide to help you increase your business. So the problem that systems solves: unpredictable, unmaintainable, unsustainable, unreliable results. Now, all of these words have the word able at the end. Maintainable, reliable, sustainable, predictable, scalable. See, we need these able words in order to grow our business. A lot of folks that I've noticed in this industry don't have these in place. And what I've seen is they have inflexible fluctuations of business. As I mentioned before, most of these contractors that I've worked with don't have systems in place. And then you can see it in their income, what I like to refer to as fiscal famine income. You see, 1 month they have a lot of money, next month they don't. 1 month it's like a roller coaster of income, and their business is turbulent. There's a lot of chaos because why? Systems of operation, SOPs, are not in place in order to conduct business in a straight manner. And the reason why this is a problem is because you can't scale something, you can't grow something when it's not maintainable, sustainable, manageable, operationable, little alone scalable. You see, and this happens when either you have no system, a broken system, or a faulty system. So what's the abstraction that we're going to use today in order to help think about this on a grander scale in order to implement immediately in your business? Well, I'm going to show you this now. Okay, so here we have a system. We're going to call this input, this process, and here the output. Over here is environment, and over here is the feedback. So the input is what you put in. The process is what's happening, right? It's taking that raw material and it turning it into a service or value being delivered, which is the output, which is the outcome. All right. And all of that, after it's done, you get feedback. In some systems, there is where the output, the result, ends up putting it back into the input as a feedback loop. I'll give you an example. Have you ever seen a microphone and a stereo put together and it gives that loud noise? It's because it's happening too much time. It's listening to itself too many times. So it gets bigger and bigger, it gets louder and louder. Everybody starts freaking out, and then you take them away and the noise stops. This is the perfect illustration of the nature of systems. So what's happening is, in real time, the microphone it's sending out the noise into the speaker, and then the speaker is inputting the noise back into the microphone and causing this buzzing sound because it's going really, really fast. Hence why it amplifies every single time. So as mentioned before, when a system has feedback, it amplifies. Now, it's important to be able to understand systems. You need to be able to identify systems, use the systems, implement the systems, start them, launch them, troubleshoot them. Because what my business is and your business is a collection of systems all put in certain places in order for it to run. If you haven't watched this movie, I highly recommend you watching it. It's called Founder. And in this movie, it talks about the founder of McDonald's. And see, the reason why McDonald's became such a huge empire all around the world wasn't because they got the best burgers, wasn't because they got the best fries, and it wasn't because they had the best real estate. The number one reason why they became the number one burger company, fast food service in America and in the world was because they implemented into this systems of operation. In the movie, the guy becomes obsessed with how the operation of making a burger went. And so they were able to produce burgers faster than their competitors. And that's why they became the number one fast food restaurant chain in the world, because they utilize systems. So as I mentioned, our business is a collection of systems that take our time, energy, in order for them to produce a result, which then delivers value and results to the customers that are coming into our business, and obviously rewards for the owner. So the people that do not understand systems are basically slaves. The reason why is because when the business is the master, you're its slave. But when the business is the slave, you're the master. And that's because you're the one turning the levels, you're the one turning the buttons. So for me, when I started this business, I really wanted to be able to produce it and create it in the event that I passed away, right? My wife can pick up this business because it's operational. I have a training manual. She can come into it, rock and roll. My daughter, when she's older, right? It's turnkey operations. She doesn't have to be an expert in the gutter business. However, if the business is automated with systems in place, there's no need for her to learn the trade. All she needs to do is cut the checks. So the people that don't understand systems, the system, like I said, is the master and you're its slave. If you're the one in charge, which you are, at the end of this video, what you're going to implement to your business at the end of this course is so you can become the owner of the system. See, there's a huge quote that's always really used in business. It's you're either working in your business or working on your business. Most of the time, business owners who become self-employed independent contractors are working in the business, when we should be able to, work in the business, but with the end goal in mind of working on the business. You see, this is the image that I want you to see when you think about systems. Either the system owns you or you own the system. And if you're in business for yourself, I am sure that you are the master of the system that you've created. And the goal, and what was my goal in the beginning, was to have financial freedom. And so, we have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom is the next step. So location freedom, I'm able to work anywhere around the world remotely, running a business. Time freedom, I'm able to use my time, leverage other people's times by delegating tasks and implementing systems of operation in the business in order for me to have all the time in the world to spend with my family and my daughter. Number 3, financial freedom is the next step, where, we take the profits of this business, create another business, and continue to do this over and over and over so that I have multiple sources of income on a continuous basis. Going back to the image, see, the understanding of systems and how they work is really a study of its own. However, I want to come back to it where I was and implement the next part of the systems, which is the environment. You see, there's no such thing as a vacuum sealed, environment-free system in place. There's always a market. You see, an environment influences the system and the system influences the environment in a two-way street. I know we're super abstract right now, but the reason why I'm saying this and teaching this is because once you understand this simple yet complex, so I know it's super abstract right now, but the reason why I am teaching about systems and environment so that you can use and implement in your business. However, I'm going to give you a real example now. Imagine an input could be you putting up some Google ads, right? Google, the big old G, the holy grail. So you spend some Google ads, maybe Facebook ads, right? You create the copy, you create the content, post this ad. Perfect. What ends up happening? You put money into a system called Google or Facebook, right? FB. And then your money with your ad goes into the system and it starts to process. And you see the process that is taking place in the app is going through some algorithms, okay? And what Facebook and Google is doing with your ad is they're trying to put your ad in front of people who want to buy, or people who searched up your content or search up any keywords of your business in order for them to find you. So that's what their goal is in their system, is to put your ad in front of eyeballs, because when the ad is in front of their eyeballs, that's when they charge you, right? And then the output is the result that ends up happening from the Google ads. How many people called you? It's all results to the amount of leads, okay? But besides leads, the other things that result from it is clicks, people sending their requests, people making calls, requesting estimates. That's the output. So those are the results. And then you get some feedback. So for example, when you spend, let's say $100 on advertisement, either Google, Facebook, Instagram, whatever your source of lead traffic is. Spend $100 in this section, and then it produces $1,000 in results. So your feedback is 10x. You put 100 and you got 1,000. That's 10x. That's what you look at when you're looking at feedback. And what do you say? Hey, I put 100 and I got 1,000. After costs, ends up being 900. Okay, what if I put 1,000 in the input? Same feedback, you'll make 10,000. I'll give you an example from my own business. Okay, I spent on a lead $20. Okay, $20 lead. I ended up making $2,222. Yes, I know why all the twos, it just ended up working like that. That was definitely a 100x result. However, that $20 lead, in order for me to get that $20 lead, I actually spent the minimum, which was $500 on Google local ads. But still, the feedback from 500 to 2,200, that's 4x. I will spend $400, $500 every single week to get $2,000 in results. So this is positive, remember? And now, if we use the microphone and the speaker analogy, this is amplification, right? How many times have you spent money on advertisements and have zero results? That is an amplification on the negative side. However, when you spend $120 and make $2,000, that is a positive amplification of the systems in place. So the whole point of this feedback loop is, figure out what works, what platform is giving you the greater return of investment. For example, for me, it's Google local service ads. I spend $100 on average. I make $1,000 on the 5 leads that I get, because it's about $20 per lead. So for me, this is a positive 10x amplification. See, now the dumb thing to do, or the stupid thing to do, would be take this $1,000 and not put it back into an input. Because what ends up happening is, if you don't put that $1,000 back into the input, guess what? You put zero. And guess what? If you spend zero money, what's your result? $0. So the smart business owner would use this 10x feedback and continue to feed the system. Because for me, it's like an ATM. If you put $1 in, you get $10 in. I'll put $1 in every single time. However, I do want to emphasize this. The reason why this is working is for the other little systems that I have in place. For example, prime example. The reason why people mainly buy with me on their first call is because I can get them an estimate within 10 to 15 minutes. It's huge when it comes to the contractor business. If you're a roofer, you're able to pull a house measurement, a roof measurement within 1 to 2 hours by paying $15 or $20 or $30 to your supplier. By minimum, you should be able to produce an estimate for a roofing lead within 4 to 5 hours of them calling you. Why? Because people like efficiency. Listen, my wife's from Switzerland, and if I have learned something in the last 2 years that I've been with her, efficiency is number one thing about it. And the reason why efficiency is so amazing is because things are just smooth. Everything is just smooth. Everything just works, right? It's like a Rolex watch. So with that being said, having systems in place make business efficient. And so because I have that efficiency, when I do put $100 in, it's being optimized because I'm not wasting time sending an estimate. Because the whole point is for me to produce, me paying for ads is because I'm saying to the universe, hey, take my money, put my information in front of people's faces, and I want them to call me for services. So when someone calls me, what do you expect? The most important thing is to give them exactly what they want, is an estimate. They want to know what the ballpark number is. They want to know if you're reasonable, if the price is around their ballpark. Oh, a gutter cleaning average cost is like 150, 250 if you have a big house. Yeah. And when I hit them with $200, they're like, yeah, let's do it, because of the efficiency behind every part of the system in the business. I went on a little tangent there, but the reason why I want to emphasize this is the reason that we grew 3x in the last 3 years is because every single month the systems are being tweaked, because that's what the environment gives you back. It gives you feedback. Market research is produced when you're putting effort into the system and putting it into the market. So like I said before, the smart thing to do would be to take this 1,000 and reinvest it here in the ads so that 1,000 can turn into 10,000 and continues do that feedback. Now, I know it's crazy. For example, I've never spent $10,000 a month in marketing, but I strive for that goal. Why? Because I want to make $1 million in a month, right? So everyone is at a different level. What I'm saying is, if you have 100, your goal is to 10x it, or even if you 5x it, it's better than getting a 0 in results. This next level concept is called a flywheel. And the flywheel is really simple. So when you get more clients, you end up getting more work. But because you get more work, you get less time per client. And then because you have less time per client, you actually end up giving worse results. Okay? The reason this happens is because it's a positive and negative, right? So more clients is a good thing, because obviously you want to get in front of more customers. You want to serve more customers, because you serve more customers, you make more money. Because you get more clients, you end up having more work. So you have to go out there and completely deliver the value you are producing in the marketplace. And then that causes less time per customers, which is a negative, okay? Which, if you have less time per customer, you can't get a certain amount of clients in the week. And because you can't finish a certain amount of clients in the week, you get worse results. Why is this important? Because as a remote contractor, this is no longer valid if you don't have systems in place. See, the systems in place that we're teaching here is when you get more clients, you get more work, you have to spend less time in the business, because you have to find and leverage your time with other contractors. And how do you get better results? Well, I'll give you a prime example. Last week, we had a crazy rainy day. We had 38 leads come in 2 days. It was insane, right? Why was it insane? Well, 38 leads for one virtual assistant was overwhelming. So more clients, that resulted in more work. What does that mean? More work was more estimates. We had to produce 38 estimates in 2 days. So the focus was diverted. It was basically, there was so much work that we got a little lost. And because we got a little lost, time per customer was reduced, which created worse results. So what does that mean? We weren't able to send estimates on a 15 to 20 minute basis. We had to extend it. So what did this do? This made us step back, look at the system and see, whoa, the system isn't optimized for 38 leads in 2 days. The system is optimized for about 4 to 8 leads a day. So this flywheel is a very good indicator of where your momentum is in your business. Is it moving forward? Is it getting stuck? Is it really? The whole goal is for the wheel to move effortlessly. So just because you get more clients doesn't necessarily mean that you have to produce worse results. See, the better the system you have, the better the results will be automatically, okay? Now I'm gonna finish with this. A mentor told me once that the income goals that you have are not based on the production of your ability, but they're based on the lowest level of system that you have. So to end it off with that, if you want to increase your bank account, increase the systems you have in place, efficiency, so that it can be effortlessly producing results with a feedback loop that you put input You put X amount of effort, you get X amount of Y amount of results, and you keep using the Y results to put back into the X input. Hope that was helpful. I know it was super abstract, but if you rewatch this, I guarantee you it will definitely click eventually. And that's how I learn. It's all about repetition. And with that being said, peace out, and I'll see you in the next module.